Hello again, this is the Professor. I'm going to close off my weekend with one last commentary, and this time it will be over MixCritic and her review of Final Fantasy X2. Now, I happen to enjoy this game immensely and think it is a great installment to the Final Fantasy series. You know, what with a good storyline, fantastic graphics, superb soundtrack, and by far the most innovative battle system to ever be used in Final Fantasy. But it seems MixCritic disagrees, and let's just go ahead and jump in and see how she proves that she disagrees and why her opinion is correct.
This game sucks.
Wait, it
This is one
does?
of those games that comes in every once in a while. Don't let the greatest hits tab fool you. It's a bad game.
Oh, you
Really,
greatest hits
really bad
tagline,
game.
you lied to
It's
me!
one of those games that most fans want to ignore.
You know, if you're going to keep talking about Dirge or Cerberus, then why don't you use this picture instead?
It's one of those games that's almost taboo to even talk about.
You know, if a game is this taboo to talk about, then why are you talking about it?
This is Final Fantasy X-2.
Wait, Final Fantasy X2? Taboo and hated among the fans of the series? Well, I'm not so sure about this. Let's go ahead and take a look. Well, according to GameSpot.com, it was given an 8.1 from GameSpot itself, an 8.6 from critics, and an 8.3 from users. And those seem to be, well, all around good scores. Now, what about IGN? Let's see, 9.5 for Editor's Choice, 8.2 from the press critics, and 8.6 from the readers and users. Holy crap! Well, it seems like this was a well-liked game in the Final Fantasy series overall. But maybe we're all completely wrong, and, you know, MixCritic is just the person we needed to set us straight about this game. Hey, go back! I like that cutscene! That's a lot more interesting right now.
After the release of Final Fantasy X, it sold very well enough for Square Enix to release a sequel, despite having a bad history of selling sequels on the number one cash cow.
Wait! Okay, hold on. Rewind the video real quick. Let me hear that again.
After the release of Final Fantasy X, it sold very well enough for Square Enix to release a sequel, despite having a bad history of selling sequels on the number one cash cow.
Holy crap! Did you even research what you're saying at all? Okay, once again, let's do some research for you. Let's take a look at the release dates, shall we? Let's see. Final Fantasy X2 released on November 18th, 2003. Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection, which includes After Years, was released on April 19th, 2011, with an average game score of 8.5. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII was released on March 24th, 2008, with an average score of 8.2. And finally, Dirge of Cerberus was released on August 15th, 2006, with an average game score of 6.8. Yeah, that one really did suck. Now, you stated that Complete Collection, After Years, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus show that before X2, Square had a history of bad sequels. How can that be when X2 is the first direct sequel Squaresoft or Square Enix ever released? Plus, with the exception of Dirge of Cerberus, all these games got good scores from the critics and gamers themselves. So how can you say that by using these games you can show a history of bad sequels? You really need to do your research before making such asinine statements.
The plot of the story takes place 2 years after the events of Final Fantasy X. Yuna teams up with Riku and Pain to find spheres that may have a way to bring Tidus back. But throughout the game, they encounter other sphere hunters who want the spheres for themselves, as well as encountering people who are still suffering from the past events from Final Fantasy X. The plot is simple, and this was another excuse why Square Enix wanted to make the sequel, but this is where it gets bad.
Well, I will have to give you this. You have a pretty good synopsis of the storyline. You know, unlike other game reviewers out there that I've covered in the past.
The gameplay consists of a dress system which the character's abilities increase depending on the dress sphere the character is wearing, which confuses me whether I'm playing a Final Fantasy sequel or a Barbie game. The dress sphere system allows the player to customize the battle, and the player can change jobs in the middle of the battle. It does sound like an awesome idea, but after a while it gets boring and a pain in the ass.
And to most people, that was the best part of the combat system. It's nothing more than a streamlined version of the job class system featured in many other great RPGs. Well, for most fans in the series, it added a sense of strategy that was not in past JRPGs. The Dressfair system is quite possibly the best job system to ever be featured in a Final Fantasy, and was transferred into Final Fantasy 13 as well using their paradigm system. Wait, I don't think that's really a good comparison, seeing as so many people give that game unwarranted hatred for the most part as well.
The battle system is the classic active time battle instead of the turn-based system for Final Fantasy X. This may have worked on past Final Fantasy games, but in this one, it just gets confusing.
Hold on, how is this confusing? You wait for your ATB bar to fill, and then you choose to attack. This battle system is one of the most innovative in the Final Fantasy series. It was fast-paced, and you could actually time your attacks correctly to counter an enemy during their attacks, allowing you to effectively cancel enemy attacks altogether. Adding the ability to change the classes on the fly meant we were able to create and execute multiple strategies in any given battle. This was innovative because the battle system actually gave you freedom.
Since the game has two endings, you have the choice of filling the completion bar 100% if you want to see the second ending, but getting 100% is difficult. How difficult, you ask? Well, you have to be in a certain places at a certain time, you can't skip a scene, which most of the scenes are long and pointless, and you must complete certain side quests.
100% completion is not really all that hard to get on X2. All you have to do is cover the hotspots first in each chapter, then do all the side quests before going into the next chapter. And yes, while you have to see all the scenes, most of them you can skip after they start playing, and it counts towards the 100% completion anyway. I got 100% on my second playthrough, and I skipped every scene I could because I was doing a speed run at the time.
The game can't even make up their mind on the storyline. This game has a mission-based system that allows the player to create their own journey and allows the player to which and how many side quests to attempt and complete. Yuna turned into a singer/Lara Croft wannabe.
Why? Why is she like Lara Croft? Because she uses guns and has a similar pose? I understand that you're going to make this comparison, but it'd be nice if you explained the purpose behind this statement and how this comparison works.
I know that she used to be a summoner and summoners are pointless by now, but really? Riku still sounds like a 10-year-old, only this time her outfit is more for fan service.
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long.
Thanks for that. Although, I have to say, I would have preferred it if your video went a little bit more like this. Yeah, I'm creepy, aren't I?
Pain is forgettable, she speaks mute and basically squall with breast.
Ooh, take that, Yaoi fans. Pain totally just blocked off your Squall and Cypher fanfics. Ooh, yeah, take that.
But here's the thing that bothers me. Riku's brother tends to flirt with Yuna, and their dad and Yuna's mom are siblings, which makes them cousins. So why is he flirting with his cousin? When did Final Fantasy turn into a freaking hillbilly game? These three just reminds me Square Enix version of Charlie's Angels.
Oh, yeah. You went with the most generic X2 complaint out there. Everyone and their mother compares the opening of the game to Charlie's Angels. Well, here's a good reason for that. While Square was trying to still entertain their core audience, they were also trying to market JRPGs and Final Fantasy primarily to the female audience that were not fans of the game. Though I would have to say they took the wrong route in doing this, seeing as their plan failed horribly in influencing the female populace into playing Final Fantasy. Yeah, great job, guys.
The old characters haven't changed a bit, but the newer characters of the game are also forgettable.
Well, I'd have to say Lulu did change quite a bit. You know, what with being pregnant and all.
The villain of the game is Shuyin, who looks exactly like Titus. What the hell, Square Enix? You brought us Kefka, Sephiroth, and Ultimisia, and you brought us that?
Wait, what was the point of this anyway? What the hell do Kefka, Sephi, and Ultimacia have to do with Shuyin? What do they have to do with anything? This whole segment seemed completely pointless. If you were trying to use this for comedic effect, well, I think your joke just flopped.
Personally, I don't recommend this game. It's not even worth your money. The only thing I like about this game is the music. It may not be Nobuo Uematsu material, but I like the music enough to get the CD.
Hey, another valid point from you. The score for this game is the second best in the series, you know, right after Final Fantasy VIII.
But if you'd like to see a happy ending, then go buy it. Just remember, you're going through a series of side quests, seeing a lot of pointless scenes, which you can't skip, as well as being in certain places at a certain time just to see a 3-minute ending. Happy gaming!
So, as you can see, I don't think she did a very good job with this particular review. I understand you were going for a comedic, lighthearted feel with some of your points, but here is the thing, MixCritic. Even they need to still make sense. I have watched a couple of your reviews on your channel before doing this commentary, and I think you do have the ability to perform a good critical review of a game correctly. You just need to research your material a little more beforehand. Trying to use games that came out after X2 as a history of bad sequels just does not work when you look at it chronologically and just straight out logically for a review. Plus, to state that a majority of a fan base hates a specific game does not make sense when you look at the facts and the user reviews state differently. It was a well-liked game for the most part. So yeah, don't stop making videos. I think you can do it, and you just need to make sure you research a little more and proofread your script. Which, yes, I could tell you used a script, and I completely applaud you for that. At least someone on this YouTube does know how to use one. Plus, you did a great job with your story synopsis and describing the main characters in very brief statements. You did cover their personalities and their flaws. You did a good job at that. The only one I'd have to say you didn't go into, well, enough detail or you didn't actually cover very well was Yuna. That was the only one. So, you do actually have the ability to make good reviews. I just felt that this one in particular was flawed. But nonetheless, this is the Professor, signing off. Have a wonderful day, guys. I'll see you next time.